Am I guilty for using my sister-in-law's garden flowers in my wedding bouquet? My wedding was put on hold due to coronavirus. During this time, sister-in-law's grandfather got sick, so she traveled to stay with her family. I was left in charge of feeding her dog. My sister-in-law has always grown beautiful flowers and succulents. She knows how much I admire her green thumb. Before she left, she cut all the heads off her roses. And this is where I made my mistake at the time. I did not know you could cut the heads off roses and make more grow. So when I was overfeeding the dog, I noticed more growing and was amazed. Then the restrictions in my country were lifted. My husband and I decided to throw together a quick wedding ceremony. The idea just came to me to use the roses she'd grown, thinking that as she'd cut them she'd not know I'd taken any. As I was overcutting them, I remembered the succulents and decided to grab a few in their pots to use as centerpieces. We'd always wanted to get married in my grandmother's church and venue hall, which was 2 hours away from our home and sister-in-law's home. Sister-in-law decided she'd come back for the wedding, but would fly into that local airport, then go straight to the local hotel instead of going home when she landed, then driving to the wedding and back all in one day. The wedding itself went beautifully. She was happy and I was so happy. Everyone was happy. We get to the after party and sister-in-law notices the succulents and gets very angry, asking if they're hers, and how could I do that? She started trying to snatch them up. Unfortunately, this caused a light fuss while I asked her to stop, that she was ruining my wedding, while I grabbed at the succulent. She loudly said, "You're stealing from me." My family wrongly took this to mean they could take the succulents. The ones they didn't take did end up damaged as people touched the leaves and squeezed them. Sister-in-law took all my succulent centers that she could and left in a huff. After that, the party died down. Pretty much everyone in her family took her side, whereas my family think it's flowers. It's ridiculous. When she arrived home the next day, she noticed the roses were gone, and sent a message saying how could I steal her plants without permission, and that she was sick of me overstepping all the time. Personally, I feel like they're just plants, they will grow back. And it's a shame for her to have spoiled the after party when she could have just left the succulents, and most people would have ignored them. But I also understand she spends a lot of time and money growing many of these plants, and they are her pastime that I should have asked to use them. So, I borrowed some flowers without permission, but my sister-in-law shouted at me during my wedding party. So, am I guilty? Let's listen to some comments from the community before I read the update.
Good God, you are guilty. As a plant enthusiast myself, I'd be pissed. She has every right to be upset. You did steal her plants. You went over to her house and took things that did not belong to you and butchered her rose bushes. You owe her a massive apology and some monetary reimbursement for the damaged plants at the very least.
As a crazy plant lady, my blood is boiling.
You're an ass, and a cheap one at that. You didn't borrow her flowers, you destroyed her garden.
Of course you are guilty. You took your sister-in-law's property without asking her. That's called stealing. You didn't even have the courtesy to tell her before she got to the after party and noticed it on her own. That's cowardly and rude. Your family stole her succulents, and the ones that they didn't take got damaged by your guests. You owe your sister-in-law a massive apology along with whatever funds it takes to restore her property to the condition it was in when you found it.
You are guilty. You did not borrow, you stole. Nearly killed her garden because you probably had no idea what you were doing, but just started picking what you pleased. She put time and money into her plants, and you felt entitled to take them. You did cross a boundary, and you need to apologize.
Edit. The same day. Fine, I am an ass, whatever. I'd have brought the succulents back the next day. And if the roses grew back once, they'll grow back again, I figured, but okay, whatever, I'm the ass here, sure. Let's listen to some comments from the community before I read the update.
You are guilty big time. Do you even know how much time, money, and effort goes into growing things? Especially roses and succulents. You didn't even ask her. I wouldn't blame her if she never talks to you again. You sound ridiculously entitled.
And after that edit, I'd be willing to bet this isn't an out-of-character instance of assholery from you. Yikes. I feel so bad for your sister-in-law.
Final update. 13 days later. One of you snitches posted it to a group, shaming weddings. I found the group and have a mutual friend on it and showed me the screenshot. Roses grow back, and succulents are €2 in grocery stores. But my human life could be over. You've all left a strain on my beautiful memory over cheap plants. However, I'm going on vacation tonight. When I am back, I will be buying some grocery succulents for my sister-in-law, who told me no, it's fine via private message when I asked if she wanted me to buy her some. So all your call-outs are no good. I am not the cold person you frame me, as I love my sister and am heartbroken I crossed a boundary. Let's listen to some comments from the community before the end of the video.
You are guilty, purely for posting to this sub then, throwing a toddler tantrum, and pouting when you didn't get the answer you wanted.
Oh my God! Look at the way you have accepted the judgment. You are guilty, without a doubt. As a plant person, I can tell you, my plants are my babies. If you were my sister-in-law, you'd be paying much more. I'd have made a much bigger scene and announced to all the guests how you stole from me, and I would definitely have taken things dear to you. Snap out of your selfish world and stop taking advantage of other people.
Oh my God, you are guilty, and you even misrepresented the depth of your assholery in the title. You didn't just use her flowers in your bouquet. You plundered her garden and undid hours, days, months of effort. You should be begging her for forgiveness. Your family probably bears some of the blame for your actions, because no one who raised you or was part of shaping your worldview taught you that other people's property is off limits, and that you should be respectful and remorseful if something you did causes someone else distress or loss. I can't believe they're supporting you in this. I'm disgusted with you all. Edited to point and laugh at your edit. Reputations grow back. Sometimes. And if you could have gotten comparable plants for $2 each, why the F didn't you just pay for some to use? Why did you take hers? You did a thoughtless, hurtful thing and are not showing remorse for anything except being outed. Of course you're getting dragged. And let me remind you that, no, it's fine has never in the history of ever meant that anything is fine. Jesus.
Thank you for listening to this story. Let me know in the comments if you agree with the community. What would you have done in that situation? And for those who stayed to the end, thank you. If you like this type of content, feel free to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. See you soon.